Hello, everybody. My name is Marianne Kannengiese. Here today with me is Timothy Miller, who is the organizer of the Homeo Summit in the US. Hi, Tim. I'm very glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so nice to be here with everyone.
And we plan today to talk about the Homeo Summits, the organizing of summits, and all the very interesting parts you meet in doing so. So, Timothy, what was your major experience in doing the Homeo Summit?
Well, I've got to say, it's been a really powerful experience to see behind the scenes and in front of the scenes the homeopathic community organizing. Right now we have 42 speakers from 11 countries, and it didn't just happen overnight. As you know from organizing events, it takes so much work behind the scenes to get people on board, especially, so many really popular homeopathic speakers and teachers. They're so busy. And so even finding time to carve out of their schedule from seeing clients and from teaching can become, challenging in and of itself to make recordings and time happen. But the thing that has been so beautiful for me and such a powerful experience is the other organizers and myself, us coming together and working with these speakers and really sharing our vision for the event, which has gotten speakers and community members really excited about their contribution and participation, and one of the things I think would be really great for us to talk about in our time here now is, in addition to summits, whether you're planning or I'm planning, or we're, supporting each other in planning or whatever the case might be, what is it that we can do to really support the homeopathic profession moving forward? Because that is really the vision, the insight, mission of the summit that we have been organizing here is getting more and more people excited and empowered and inspired to use homeopathy across the planet. And we don't just want to preach to the choir. We don't just want to share, great homeopathic information with people who are already familiar with homeopathy, but we also really want to get people on board who have never heard of homeopathy before, who have never been exposed to it, maybe never used it before. Maybe they only know about like those little sugar pills that people take, but, nothing else. What is it that we can do to really get, the world moving and shifting in making available this very powerful, very accessible medicine? What can we do? Especially I think about, the last, I don't know, probably decade or longer, homeopathy has gotten mixed reviews in media, and of course, not all of that attention has been accurate and has been certainly pushed with a specific agenda. So how can we, as a homeopathic profession, how can we come together to share really important homeopathic information with our community and even those who are not yet a part of our community, so that people can hear both sides of the story or hear a balanced side of the story, so that we can see homeopathy continuing for many, many years to come, and not just to survive, but to really flourish, to thrive, in the work that we do. I think that's so important.
That would be the intention. So what did you do to cover that wide range between laymen, people who don't really know anything about homeopathy, and professional practitioners who want to get special insight in the work of their colleagues?
Such a great question. So it kind of didn't even necessarily happen intentionally. But how it organically evolved is we are offering 2 specific learning tracks for the summit. And so, for our summit, we have the everyone track, which is literally for everyone, including homeopaths, including people who have never heard of homeopathy before. So someone who's like no exposure at all. And then a homeopath track, which is for homeopaths who want to get deeper insight into it. And kind of what we thought is, for someone who's coming in and they're a total beginner to homeopathy, like, we really need to navigate them through this learning journey of getting familiar with homeopathy. So we need to start at the basics, and we need to take them through this fairly organized, fairly facilitated training and exposure to homeopathy to understand kind of all the facets that are available within homeopathy, the different dynamics, the potencies, how to take it, different styles, you know, kind of all the things. So one way that we tried to do it within the structure of the summit was by offering 2 different tracks. And so that way, you know, we can really guide people who are not familiar with homeopathy at all and share with them information starting at square one so that they can be rooted in really solid context of what homeopathy is and how to use it and how to take it.
Do you talk in these lectures about Hahnemann and the organon?
Yes. Yeah. So the first lecture, I'm presenting the very first lecture, which is called The Lowdown on Homeopathy. And in there, you know, I give the context of Samuel Hahnemann, the discovery of homeopathy with him, cinchona bark. You know, we talk about potencies, potentization. We talk about dilution, succussion, you know, all the different kind of complex homeopathy versus simple remedies, compound remedies, simple remedies, you know, all the different things, so that people have an appreciation of not just where homeopathy is today, but also, you know, where the origins of homeopathy come from. And then another thing kind of along that note for both tracks that we really wanted to, you know, impress upon people is the importance of understanding the global context of homeopathy. And so in this summit, we have a daily homeopathy around the world session, we're calling it, where we interview a homeopath in, you know, various countries around the world where they can share what homeopathy is like in their country, you know, and we can see in some places like homeopathy is basically non-existent. In other countries, like homeopathy is thriving, you know, and we have everything in between. And so getting an appreciation of not just what homeopathy is like in the country where we are, but also getting an appreciation in the sense of what homeopathy is like in other countries. And further, you know, we have this, you know, organizational spotlight that we've been offering. So not only can people, everyone, and also homeopaths get familiar with homeopathy and deeper levels of homeopathy, but also there's this organizational highlight where people can get a better understanding of what are some of the key important homeopathic organizations on the planet, what work are they doing, and how can we get involved either with our time, our talent, our treasure, you know, what is it that we can do to really ensure that homeopathy is, you know, thriving for years to come, and that, you know, we keep supporting the mission of homeopathy globally, you know, for many years to come.
Yes, definitely. What I was talking with the Italian homeopaths was that it is really important that we open up a video channel on YouTube where we have testimonials, just short ones, 2 to 5 minutes from clients and patients who testify and give their voice for homeopathy.
That sounds like a great idea. You know, it's so interesting. I think you raise a really great point, and they raise a really great point. We must use all of the tools that we have available to us in the 21st century to our advantage. You know, clearly they're being used by all sorts of different, you know, parties and agendas, so to speak. And why not have us embrace technology and have us embrace social media and embrace YouTube, et cetera, in a way of getting the word of homeopathy out there? You know, video is in. You know, one of the things that I like to do is attend digital marketing classes, you know, because part of my other business is, you know, digital marketing and selling online classes and all that. So of course I must be, you know, informed by these things. And that's what's out there right now. That's what engages people the most in the 21st century with all the stimulation that we have out there is video, you know.
Definitely.
And we need to use that. We need to get the word out there, and we need to use all these platforms and technologies that are available to us to share with people. I think YouTube is a great way, you know, Facebook, as much as I try to stay off of Facebook, you know, it's so important to getting the word out there with people. And, you know, Instagram is blowing up these days. So all these different platforms.
Yes, as we are in tech already with the repertorization, and most of us use computer programs for it, we can go for social media and YouTube as well. It's
Yeah,
not such a leap if you really want to do it.
I agree. And I think, it's really helpful to have someone who spearheads this, or like an organization or like a party or person who is really passionate about technology, is really passionate, about social media. And that person can be the point person for helping orchestrate and organize some of these things. Because one of the other hats I wear is with Radar Opus, and I distribute Radar Opus in North America. And, homeopaths are some of the sweetest, most wonderful people on the planet. And also some of the like least technically inclined people on the planet. And, I realize that it's kind of a huge ask in some ways to have homeopaths who have a busy schedule, working to pay the bills, working to see clients, do the repertorizations, learn a homeopathic program, all the things, to also like be the front of the line movement for it. And how cool it is to have there be a central, organization that can do that, and I think it's so important why we support our, you know, um, our national organizations, et cetera, who are doing really good work.
Yeah, yeah. I talked to Ron Whitman, who was the former president of the American Association of the Homeopaths, and he, we talked a lot about the banishment and the problems they had with the closing of their channel on YouTube, just according to how's the English word? Censorship, I think it is.
Now, so what got close? You're saying I'm not fully I'm not sure if I'm familiar with this information. So something got shut down on YouTube via censorship?
Yes. They published a webinar on homeopathy and it was banned, it was shut down.
What was the topic on?
Homeopathy.
Just in general.
Just in general.
Yikes.
Yes, and I was very surprised that the problem of being censored is that deep already.
Is that what?
Is going that deep, that problem with censorship already. That you publish a webinar and either your channel is banned or the webinar is just put off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. It's very crazy.
It makes one wonder.
Yeah.
It really does,
Yes.
And how we can be careful about this. Yikes.
Yes, and then I met Elisabeth Aga from Sweden, who told me that it is absolutely forbidden by law to treat children with homeopathy or as a naturopath till the age of 8.
I remember you said that.
You think Sweden is such an open country, so open-minded, and then they have a law like that, and they even want to exaggerate it to having it up to children at age of 15.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see that the most infections in children are in the little age, when they're 2, 3, 5 years old, and you give antibiotics and you do all the suppression.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the answer there?
I think the answer is taking it to a global level and showing the Swedish government that in all other places of the world, children are happily treated with homeopathy and they thrive. Mm. I guess the Swedish homeopaths, they won't solve it on their own. If it would have been possible, they would have done it already.
Yeah. Well, I really think, I don't know if, I think it comes to a grassroots issue personally. I think it has to come from the mouths and letters and voices of the people, and really voicing what it is that they want to their local governments. Because I think that's really where all the change that we're going to see within homeopathy is going to take place. I'm not sure what things are like in, many countries around the world, but I can certainly speak to some, point on what's happening in the United States, et cetera. And, there's just, it's basically, it's no secret to become a politician. You're often doing, uh,
Interesting things.
interesting things and, doing favors for others, and others are doing favors for you. And, it's no secret that there's a lot of money in other industries, and definitely there are interests that are against homeopathy in the world, right? Without getting into any specifics, I think we can just kind of say some general things about that. And as a result, change can't come from, it won't come from, I don't think, from, the government or from, politicians without the voices of the local people really using their word. And that's part and parcel, with the summit that we're organizing and with the Everyone track, is getting the word out there. Not that we're expecting legislation or things to change overnight, but the more and more people know their options and are informed about what's available to them, including homeopathy, and that it's not as, snake oil and, woo-woo kind of as it's been hyped up to be in some circles, which is, here's the other thing that we need to know about people is people, even some of the most educated people, only read headlines. They don't dig deeper into articles and actually read the entire thing. And so we need to know that. So people, and the other thing we need to know about people is, repetition is the mother of learning, and people believe what they hear and see by default. And so if the greater voice that they hear and see, maybe at first subconsciously not even knowing, and then over time, they come to accept that as fact, whether or not it actually is factual. And so we have to know that about human nature. We have to know that about people. And so in some ways, we're working with that layer of resistance of what has been out in the media that has been pushed, by various parties, agendas, and circumstances, et cetera. We have to know that that's there. And the thing that I really believe is we cannot resist people's resistance. And so if we are working with people and people have been believing and hearing what they've been hearing, and naturally anyone would, that's human nature, instead of making people wrong for it and blaming them for that, instead working with that resistance, working with them, offering them different viewpoints, and in the space and time when they are ready to actually hear, see, listen to, and process that. We can lead a horse to water, we can't make it drink. And so making information available and, making it available in the flow rate that person can handle, then empowers them with a new choice, a new opportunity that is something that they can then choose differently moving forward. And so the more and more that we can do that as homeopaths, as teachers, as people of the world, the more and more that we can do that, then at some point we reach critical mass. At some point we have enough people who are open to a different possibility, and that is where change can come. And I realize that is no small task. I realize that is a monumental undertaking, and I do realize it takes a village, and that every single person makes a difference in that picture. But I think the change that we want to see in the world, it's not going to come top down, it's going to come bottom up. And we really must, support each other in that process so that we can make a difference.
Yes. This is why we are planning on that video channel, and we are planning on doing video testimonials of animals. So this is quite nice that he's coming now.
Yes.
Because you can say you have a placebo effect on humans, but having a placebo effect on animals is not so likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I think that's great. I think that's so great.
Did you have animal homeopaths involved in your summit?
We did. Yeah, we have three veterinarian homeopaths involved.
And which countries did you cover?
For those, all the United States.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said you had speakers from 11 countries. Which
Yes.
countries did you get?
Oh man, you're putting me to the test. Um, Italy, Hungary, China,
Very good.
Brazil, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Turkey. Well, that's 8. Let me think of 3 more.
Okay.
Got to think of all my speakers. Oh, geez. No pressure.
So you said you have 42 speakers, which is really a lot.
Oh, South Africa. That's another one.
South Africa.
Mhm.
So you have 42 speakers in 4 days in the summit?
5 days,
5 days.
68 sessions, 42 speakers, 5 days, 2 tracks. I feel like I'm on like a robotic repetition.
How big is the team that is able to cover that? You need a lot of tech possibilities for that.
Well, so everything is pre-recorded, which has been really helpful. So, the team that we're a pretty small but mighty team. There's basically been 4 of us who have been organizing the event, and with a couple of kind of like, our developer customizing some things as we needed, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But the core team has been 4 people.
Oh, it's the same with us.
Myself and 3 others,
Mm.
and I've got to tell you, it's like a gift on a gift. Getting to work with people in a really close capacity, especially in the 21st century times of COVID, and kind of all the things. It's like it's been a blessing to work really closely with people and have this mission, this common purpose. Working together to do things. It's been a beautiful thing.
Did you have COVID-19 as a special topic in your summit?
Well, I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but in the United States, it's a very, very hot, censured topic. And so preliminarily, it was included or about to be included in some things. And here's the thing with that. And we've had great conversations at length behind the scenes, is people can only accept information that they're ready to hear.
Yeah.
For example, and well, 2 things. That's a fact. People can only accept information that they are ready to hear. And our goal in the summit is not just to preach to the choir. Our goal with the summit is to have homeopathy be heard by everyone who is able to hear it, and not to send it with a message that can't land for people, that can't be heard. And so for this initial round of the summit, we are not providing, really any controversial, heated, debated topics. Like, we're not touching it, because what we want to do is we want to get as many new people exposed to homeopathy who has not heard of it before. So that's kind of one thing. And then also, no, for another reason, and that's because in the States, there's been so much the government is lashing, coming hard down on people who are talking about COVID, including with any, possibilities there. So we don't want to meddle with that. That is not our goal. Our mission in doing the summit is not to talk about COVID or to discuss controversial topics. Our mission, we are very clear about, is to spread the word of homeopathy to as many people who are as ready to receive it with as clear a message as possible. So that's our come from, and that's our reason for not. And I can absolutely hear and understand, varying viewpoints on the table, including from the homeopathic community of, controversy and not doing that, and maybe even upset or outrage, or people may even feel like that's a form of censorship on its own. And my team and I have gone at length, to have conversations around this. And that's not our truth for this event. We're just really clear on what our mission and purpose is and what the goal is in this event. And we are not willing to, you know, take any risks that will remove us from that very clear objective that we have for the event.
It's good to do. You have to be clear, you have to be precise, and you have to make decisions. And if it's that is the decision and the goal, just go for it. And I hope you have many, many, many listeners.
Many, many what?
Listeners.
Oh, I hope so too. Yeah, I hope so too. Actually, as of this morning, we are at 8,011 or something like that. And we've 3 weeks, well, maybe not quite, but about 3 weeks to go still. So yeah, our goal, our initial goal was 10,000, which, knock on wood, I dare say we're going to hit. And really, at this point, you know, I want to hit well above that goal. Yeah.
You will hit it. I think so.
I think so too. It's yeah, it's exciting, and it's exciting to hear, you know, the word, which I'm sure you get all the time as well for, you know, for the summit, is just people getting excited, you know, excited about learning, excited that people are coming together to put on an event. You know, we need more collaboration. I feel like that is also the gift and the teaching of COVID is isolation is the day of old. Like, we need to move forward united human being is social being. We need to be with people, and we need to be collaborating. We need to be creating, you know, and we need to sidestep from this like virtual reality that we're in, so that way we can really create the life that we want with the people we want, with the message we want. And, you know, I think that there's are going to be many opportunities for all of us moving forward to really embrace that, you know?
We should, definitely. Definitely. Are you doing live talks during the summit?
We're not. No, we're not. We have had some offers from speakers, but, you know, and I'm sure there are many, many great reasons to do live talks. Absolutely, 100%. I get it. Live is great. What we've come to learn over the years from our own, you know, because I own Naturopathic CE and we sell online classes, and we've experimented over the years with live classes. Our community just prefers, you know, pre-recorded for the most part. Like, we've gotten that feedback consistently, and it's also so much less stressful, you know, like, I feel like where I'm at in life right now is I've done so many things over my life that have been high intensity, high stress, high pace, and we're just not there. We want to have a very just organized, solid, you know, we don't want to be running on, you know, fight or flight response. We want to be running on like clear, organized, committed action. And so we did have that conversation, you know, and we're like, that's not the way we're going to do it. We want to do it this way. So no, there won't be any live talks, and it is all pre-recorded.
Okay.
Yeah. But our speaker.
I am inviting you to a live talk during our summit.
Yes. October 18th, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So that we can cover a bit on the topic of life. And work our way around your summit. But I wondered, do you have a special memory in mind during the interviews you did, during the conversations you did with your colleagues? One special highlight that touched you really?
Well,
it really touched your heart because it was so amazing?
I would say this one. So I primarily did not conduct the interviews. Primarily, my colleague and co-organizer, Dr. Anahid Jackson, primarily she conducted the interviews. And I guess there's a couple layers of this story. I had been wanting Jeremy Scher to be a speaker for months.
Yeah.
And one thing you have to know about me is I don't take no easily. I'm persistent.
Mm-hmm.
When I want something, like I really like going for it. I try not to be aggressive about it. I try to be very, graceful about it, but I like to be persistent. And Jeremy Scher, I love this man. I've actually never spoken with him because Anna, he did all the talking, but he was the speaker that probably took the most energy out of the team to make happen. But we finally got him. And
Congrats.
the special memory is Jeremy and Anna met to do the interview. And Anna Heed, she walked away from that feeling so inspired. And she immediately, she texted me and updated me. And she's like, I just went and donated to HHA. Like, this is like, oh my gosh, Jeremy is amazing. Camilla's awesome. Like, they're doing great work. Like, she was just on cloud 9. Mm-hmm. And, Jeremy had his assistant message Anna and thank her for the interview. And she's like, Anna, or she emailed me and told me to tell Anna. And she's like, and Jeremy's never asked me to do that before. And so witnessing this incredible spark and incredible connection between members of the community and the gift that they offer and the work and mission that they have, and how that can be such an enriching experience for each of them. Witnessing that, not even really being a part of it, just witnessing that, just made me feel like it's all worth it. All of the work, all of the energy, all of it is just witnessing people come together and co-inspire, co-excite, to co-create. I feel like that's what it's got to all be about. And I really want, with my work, as much as possible in my lifetime, to create as much of that as possible. Mm-hmm. To create those connections, those collaborations, those sparks. Because, again, human being is social being. We need each other, and there are connections in this world that really support us and really excite us, and maybe connections that are a little bit lackluster. But why not embrace the connections that really, inspire us and move us? And let's create more of that for each other.
It's great that you say that, because for me the same happened with Dr. Meeta Nilani from India. Mm-hmm. And special care groups in Kenya and Uganda who care for children with autism and behavioral disorders, and who are just a bit behind intellectual. Mm. And they just inspired each other, and now they are forming small work groups, and Meeta is teaching homeopathy online to those organizations, and they're coming up with the first cute cases, and it's so amazing.
Wow.
That's the same kind of spark and co-creation, and sometimes it just happens, and then you feel in your heart, wow, that, and if it is only that was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, there's something so light and free and alive about that.
Yeah. So what was the worst part you met?
What's that?
What was the worst part you met during the setting up of the summit?
Really, I mean, I can't really say anything has been bad. I feel like we've been blessed all around. The people that I'm working with, that we're working with, the speakers. I guess the worst part is all, in the States, we're a very litigious society. So I definitely had to call my lawyer to make sure we were doing everything, crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So I guess the worst part was having to talk with him and make sure we have all the agreements for the speakers, all the agreements for the referrers, everything and reading all of the legalese. You know, like I can dance that dance if I have to. I can access like my very legal mind, but it exhausts me, you know, and you know, talking with him about that, making sure we've got it all set, making sure, you know, we're all of our ducks are in a row. That's honestly probably been the worst part about it, is making sure we've got all of that set.
I can imagine. I did see you have a not a double opt-in that you need to cover for the registration for the Homeo Summit. You have a single opt-in.
A single opt-in.
Yeah. This is something we have to cope with in Europe, that we do have to do double opt-ins, which is a problem always because people drop out.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of things are designed with the best intention, and it sometimes really comes to bite us back.
So if I think of one of the worst things, this is it. Train people to go through the process of a double opt-in and not give up on it.
Or the darn promotions tab in Gmail. That's the other worst thing.
Yeah.
Goodness. Who checks that tab anyway? I don't know.
Yeah. So this is the organizer's trouble.
Yeah.
What do you hope for your summit?
Back to the mission. I hope that people feel excited and inspired and empowered to use homeopathy, whether they are a newcomer to the medicine or whether they are a seasoned practitioner or they're anywhere in between, that they walk away learning something and feeling really excited and inspired by what they've learned. And that it doesn't end there, that it opens up the doorway, you know, it opens up the door for the pathway to learn more about homeopathy in whatever form that it is for them, and that they share what they've learned with others, that they excite other people, you know, with the flame of knowledge that they walk away with, and they go and light up other people's candles. Yeah.
Do you offer any products after the summit?
So on Naturopathic CE, we do sell, you know, wide array of courses, you know, in homeopathy, botanical medicine, aromatherapy, pharmaceutical medicine, nutrition. I mean, you name it, all of it with a holistic approach. But we do have, you know, a wide variety of courses. So, you know, we're offering all of those who register, we're offering them a discount for the site and things like that, so that they can continue their learning even with us online. So, yeah,
that's
hopefully
great project.
Yeah.
Did you cover the topic of spagyric medicine?
We did not. No. Yeah, not for this particular one. I'll tell you, we struggled with some of the topics of what must we do and where do we cut the line at? You know, we could have gone on for days, you know, years inviting people, and that was probably one of the other worst parts, is when do we stop and where do we stop, you know? But yeah, no, we didn't cover that for this one.
I thought that is an interesting topic to discuss, because it is the one step before homeopathy.
The one step before
homeopathy was invented.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the history of it. I'd love to know.
Oh, I can recommend Hajo Fritschi as a speaker.
Okay, yeah, email me. That sounds great. Yeah.
He's a guy from Switzerland, on the border, Germany, Switzerland. And he's a homeopath and covers the topic of spagyric medicine and even produces tinctures himself. So he knows about this famous alchemistic process.
Wow.
I had the chance to talk with him.
That's amazing.
It was an amazing talk.
Wow.
Now I know a bit more about this coagula et solvit.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, it's all,
ancient, and very, very ancient thinking behind.
yeah. Well, it's
But as
borderline,
to do, hmm?
right? It's borderline alchemical.
Yeah, it's alchemical. When you produce a tincture, you cut the plant into pieces,
Mhm.
get it in a bowl, take the light off, close it all, let it rot in there,
Mhm.
and you have to hit the specific point before it really rots and disintegrates. And while it is still processing itself and muddling with itself,
Mhm.
and then you get the airy things out of it by doing the distillation.
Wow.
And what is left, you do the ashes of, total ashing.
Mhm.
And after the process, you combine those things again,
Mhm.
the distillate with the ashes, and you see whether the ashes dissolve in it or not. And some
Mhm.
of the ashes can't dissolve. This is the so-called chemic wedding. And
Mhm.
what is not dissolved, you get away. And then you have a very clear essence with the spirit of a plant, but
Wow.
still quite working like the plant did work. So you cover the physical effects of the plant till the spiritual effects of the plant.
Mhm.
This is how they did it before Hahnemann invented the homeopathy.
Cool. I didn't know that. That's a fun little fact.
And this is why I asked whether you did cover that topic, because it's so interesting and it's so rare that you find somebody who knows how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in Homeo Summit 2.0, maybe this will be a topic that we get to talk about then.
Yeah, can only recommend. Can
Yeah.
recommend. Tim, what is what you want to say to our listeners, and just as some final, very important words you want to say about the summit?
Hmm. Wow, that's a big one. I think have fun. Have fun with homeopathy in all of its forms, and really allow learning to be a pleasure rather than a must. Allow it to be a get to, I want to, I'm looking forward to. And with that learning, to take on the role of teacher, and the invitation there is to share our knowledge with other people, not in the form of I'm better than, I'm smarter than, I'm superior to, or in self righteousness, but instead to share our knowledge in the form of, you know, excitement and sharing. I'm excited about this information. If you're open to it, I'd love to share it with you. And if you're not open to it, no bother to me. I'll carry on as I was to someone who is ready to listen to. And so to have fun, to go with the flow, to not live in the resistance, but instead to surrender in the greatness and the excitement that homeopathy is, and that it can contribute to our lives and to those around us.
I wish you the best of luck with your summit.
Thank you. And you too. I love that we are both up to these fun things. I love event planning. So this is so fun to me. And I love that we get to connect and support each other in this work, and really have, the effect and contribution and collaboration that we want to. I think that's really beautiful.